We all have mothers. They are loving and they take good care of us. They give us life. Now, I know there are some who never knew their biological mother for whatever reason that may be. For example, through death of one's mother at a very young age. Now, we all know that mothers play a very pivotal role in our education, outlook, and faith. And for this reason, many cultures honor mothers and motherhood in different ways. Now, in a liturgical calendar, on the very first day of the new year, we always celebrate the Feast of Holy Mary as the Mother of God. And I'd like to share with you why this title is very important. In fact, it was through the centuries, and I mean years and years and years of historical development, which led to the church honoring Mary with the title Mother of God. Let me share with you the history of this briefly, and I mean briefly. So the title Mother of God is very distinct and special. Many people have asked, how can a human person be the Mother of God, since God is eternal and have existed since the very beginning of time? Well, it's true that before creation and before there was anything, God has existed for all eternity. In time, God created the universe and all of creation. God created humanity and gave each one of us the unique intellect and free will. That's where sin entered the world. And in order to save humanity then, God prepares mankind in the Old Testament through the prophets, the various prophets. And in time, God entered into the world and he entered into time to save humanity through this great feast of Christmas, right? This great celebration. So exactly 1 week ago, we celebrated this very event, which was Christmas. And for the church, there are two distinct celebrations that has an octave after it, meaning 8 days after a great feast. So these two are Christmas and Easter. And so in the 8th day of Christmas, it's always the very first day of the new year. And the first day of the new year is always the solemnity of the motherhood of God. Think about it. In order to have Christmas, we must have Mary's yes. She must be the mother of God. And so the title Mary as Mother of God traces its root back to the very first ecumenical council of the church, Nicaea. You see, in the late 3rd and early 4th century, the church was growing rapidly, and there were also many different teachings about the faith. There was, in fact, one heresy that was very popular, and it's called Arianism. And so Arianism is a very easy concept to understand. So it appeals to many. Basically, the teaching came from Arius, who was a priest at the time, and who taught that Jesus Christ cannot be on the same level as God the Father. That somehow Jesus is the most perfect human, but he's not God. And so in 325, the Council Fathers met at Nicaea, and they came up with the Nicene Creed, the one we profess every Sunday. Now, more importantly, they addressed the Arian issue and condemned it as heretical. And so the Council of Nicaea affirmed that Jesus Christ is fully divine and fully human. Now, after this council, the debate shifted to Jesus' mother, Mary. And they asked the question, who is Mary? Is she the mother of Christ, also known as Christotokos, or the mother of God, which is Theotokos? Many debates followed, and afterwards, various councils tried to resolve the issue. However, it wasn't until 431 AD that finally the Council of Ephesus declared that the Blessed Virgin Mary is not only the mother of Christ, which is the Christotokos, but that she is the mother of God, Theotokos. Think about this for a moment. The distinction is subtle, very, very, very slight, but it makes all the difference. Because if Mary was the mother of Christ only, then we go back into a form of Arianism, which somehow denies the divinity of Christ. By declaring that Mary is the mother of God, the church teaches that Jesus is both fully God and fully man, and that Mary was chosen from the very beginning to be the bearer of God in the flesh, the Theotokos. And so you see, the title of Mary as the Mother of God is really important because it highlights the fact that Mary is the Mother of God. Now, take a look at the words to the beautiful gospel reading on the very first day of the new year. Here's what it says. The shepherds went in haste to Bethlehem and found Mary and Joseph and the infant lying in a manger. When they saw this, they made known the message that had been told them about this child. All who heard it were amazed by what had been told them by the shepherds. And Mary kept all these things, reflecting on them in her heart. Friends, as we begin the new year, turn to our Blessed Mother and ask her to help us do God's will in our lives. Surely, we all search for peace, for happiness, tranquility in our lives, and the clearest path to that is to turn to the Lord and to do His will in our lives. And Mary is the perfect example for us to imitate. She says yes to God through the Annunciation, when we have Christmas, and then we have all these great celebrations. And it is fitting that God in His great love bestows on to Mary the greatest honor and title of all, which is Mary as the Mother of God. May God bless you.